Welcome to Bigger Sister channel. My name is Estelle and I'm developing an educational program to economically empower sex workers. But what does that even mean? If you haven't already, please watch the video called The Cycle of Economic Disempowerment, where I explain the problem that I am currently tackling. And in this video, we're going to go to the solutions. What are we going to do to economically empower sex workers, and how are we going to break this cycle? What does economic empowerment look like for you? I feel for each sex worker, it's going to look a little bit different. But as a general framework, I think economic empowerment requires two things. The first is the skills and the knowledge. The second is the tools and the practice. And I'm going to go into what I mean by those words. In terms of knowledge and skills, what we really want to do is increase our financial literacy. The assumption here is that it will help us identify both the internal and external influences at play that cause financial stress, and to also diagnose our financial health if there's something going on that needs to be corrected. When we increase our awareness of these factors at play, we can start to improve and tackle the systems. So this might be an internal system such as tracking your income and expenses so you're more aware of what you're doing, or it might be the external system. So maybe you can leverage a government scheme or work the system, as they say. This is how we're going to prevent ourselves from, having unexpected bills. This is going to help build our financial resilience so we're not so easily knocked back. And it's going to help us secure our financial future. So the knowledge and the skills is really the cognitive foundation that we need to then implement the tools and the practices, which is the second part. Now, the tools and the practices are there because it is impossible to get on top of your finances and your financial health without help. We need access to tools to implement these systems. We need access to our practices to improve our habits, so we can let go of the habits that are no longer serving us and build better practices around our finances. Now, if you're a sex worker, it's risky business actually using some tools and doing some practices because of the stigma and discrimination. If you reveal you are a sex worker, you're putting yourself at risk of judgment, and depending on your cultural context, perhaps your future and your reputation. So I can understand why many sex workers won't use certain tools, but that's where I come in. I'm going to put myself out there and I'm going to identify the sex worker friendly tools and services. And I'm going to find these people, I'm going to make their tools easier and safer to access for us, and I'm going to review them. And on top of that, I'm going to go into their workplaces and interview them so you know exactly who and what this product is. And that way you can make a more informed decision about what you need. It may be that you like Henry because that's the best accounting app for you, or it might be that you need a more personalized in-person experience, and maybe Money Before the Honey is a good option for you, or maybe you need full and total control, and maybe we develop some template Excel spreadsheets for you to do just that. For us to synthesize the knowledge, the skills, the tools, and the practices, we're going to need to reframe our approach to personal finance. The way we're going to synthesize all of these factors is through storytelling, and we're going to do that through the community podcasts. I will be interviewing a new sex worker every month, hopefully more in time, and we're going to go through our financial experiences, stresses, situation, and we're going to troubleshoot together how to improve their financial wellness. And if I can't help the guest of the podcast, then I'm going to go find the experts that can. I'm going to enlist the help of the professionals and get their advice. And we're going to grow and learn from these stories that we're sharing with each other. And the more stories that we have, the more expert advice I can go and collect, because we'll have specific stories to solve. And, our population is very diverse. Not every story shared is going to be relatable to everyone. And that's why we need more stories so we can cover as many bases as we possibly can. We also learn better from storytelling. I personally find it much easier to remember what happened to Juliet than any facts or figures. That's why we're going to wrap all of this knowledge, skill, tools, and practices up within storytelling through the community podcast. But that's not all. For us to really put into practice these lessons, these intentions, we're going to need to make some spaces. And Bigger Sister Channel will be facilitating skill sharing workshop sessions and spaces for you to connect with like-minded people who are going to keep you accountable. So this is an opportunity for you to come in and actually set up the systems that you said you're going to do. And we're all going to be looking at each other, keeping each other accountable. Did you set up that accounting thing? Did you set up this new system? And it's also an opportunity for us to bounce our thoughts and ideas and troubleshoot together in a nice, safe space. So every month there will be a skill sharing space, and we'll rotate through different financial themes, and we'll also rotate between whether it's going to be in person or if it's going to be online. And there you have it. That's my blueprint to economic empowerment. Everyone's going to have a different definition of what financial freedom or economic empowerment means for them, but this blueprint is just a guide, a map, a safe way to achieve that and to get there. But how do we get this blueprint into the right hands? That's like the next question. And that is why I created Bigger Sister Channel. This is where its function really comes into play. Many of the aspects that contribute and create this cycle of disempowerment are systemic, and my proposed solution or blueprint is very individual based. It's improving your knowledge, it's about improving your skills, the tools, and the practices. It's all individual level intervention, but you cannot break a cycle as an individual. It is designed to withstand individual resistance. That's why I need to create something a little bit bigger than the individual. If I really wanted to make an impact on this cycle of economic disempowerment, I need to create something like Bigger Sister Channel. I'm Turkish, and in my culture we have a saying, you're only as strong as your community. And the system can easily crush an individual. We see this happen on a daily basis. It takes a community if we want to break this system that gridlocks sex workers into vulnerability. We need to unlearn our individualistic tendencies and mindsets that we are socially conditioned to default into and to reproduce. We need to unconditionally support each other while still surviving and trying to thrive under a hostile political environment and system. And that's part of the function of Bigger Sister Channel. It is a public-facing platform, not just to deliver resources, skills, and tools effectively, but to give everyone the opportunity to contribute while still maintaining their privacy and confidentiality, because you don't have to reveal who you are to contribute to the Bigger Sister Channel. Bigger Sister Channel is just a front of something much greater. It's how we distribute this information, potentially life-saving information, with a community that is typically left to isolate and deal with things by themselves. So there you have it. We have our 4 domains that we're going to cover through economic empowerment, the economic empowerment educational program. That is the skills, that is the tools, that is the knowledge, that is the practice. And this is how we're going to overcome the obstacles, the financial insecurity, the precarity, the stigma, and the discrimination. And we have our 5 methods of how we're going to do that. The regular social media posting and the weekly videos. We're going to have the skill sharing spaces. We're going to have the community podcast, and we're going to have access to sex worker friendly products and services, and expert interviews with financial professionals. That's it for this video. I will see you next week, and just for now, just follow us on all our social media channels, including Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Substack, and our website, which has the newsletter. Thank you. Bye.